I power walked down to that pile of gummy bears and back. I should probably set the pile out further, or closer, so I can get at them.
Hey, what's up, pups? Welcome to another episode of the Power Up Podcast. 'Tis Thursday. Hope you guys are doing well. We're going to be looking into more pop culture news, for that is what this show does. We take a look at what's happening in pop culture, the good, the bad, the ugly, and we just try to keep ourselves up to date with it, give our thoughts about it, and ultimately, hopefully, trying to bring back that nostalgic flame, rekindle the entertainment spark with the goal to remind people that back in the day, everything was good. We didn't have to deal with a lot of this garbage that's happening nowadays. And I think we can return it back to normal. We just got to remove the weeds, which it appears that it is slowly being removed. So, if you enjoy the show, we talk about video games, anime, manga, or movies, or whatever suits our fancy. If you enjoy that and those topics, then hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications to get notified when I go live. I try to do shows Tuesdays and Thursdays, the Power Up Podcast show, either me or with a guest. And then the rest of the week and sometimes in the weekends, we do game streaming at 8 p.m. Central Time, and then sometimes in the mid-afternoon on the weeknights, or I guess weekends, excuse me, not weeknights. Let's hop into what we have here. The main topic that caught my eye is we saw that Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man that's going to be coming out, already not looking promising in terms of everything, and we just got more news that that we shouldn't be holding our breaths, even though, like, what is it, Metacritic is already saying it's amazing or something, like, I don't know. Or is that a video game I saw? It's always the same garbage. But let's hop in, shall we? Well, bam. But we got some cool news here in terms of video games. Well, I say cool news, but I haven't read it yet. I don't screen any of this stuff because I want to get a fresh opinion. And I'm confident in the sources that I go to that there won't be any major insanity, you know. But this hails from Video Game Chronicle. And the Video Game History Foundation's digital library is now publicly available in early access. And apparently, it includes promotional material in more than 1,500 out-of-print magazines. Insane. So it has now made its digital library system available to the public as promised last week, and that the library is available to browse on the VGHF website, but is currently suffering timeout errors due to that demand. Offers more than 30,000 curated files, with lots more to come. Now, anything with curated terms like the Smithsonian and stuff like that, they always like to hide stuff, you know, so, you know, who knows what stuff they've removed or censored or whatnot, but, you know, we can at least, you know, have some hope that they're not changing history by hiding stuff. So, as well as more than 1,500 out-of-print magazines, which are fully text searchable. So, according to VGHF, the early access version of the library has launched with a number of highlights, including guidebooks and ephemera from video game events, including the first 12 years of E3, an international collection of From Software promotional materials with a blessing from FromSoft to donate them to the library, 100 CD-ROMs of artwork and press release from GamePro magazine's archives, more than 100 hours of footage from the making of the Myst series, and the Mark Flintman's papers, a, quote, treasure trove of documents kept by Flintman from his time working at Konami, Acclaim, Atari, and others. So after years of collecting, cataloging, and digitizing video game history materials, the VGHF is finally opening the virtual doors to its libraries, wherever you are, the foundation said in a statement last week. It was set up in 2017 by game preservationists and historian Frank Cifaldi. Since then, it's been building an extensive collection of video game-related material with the aim of being to catalog, digest, and preserve the history of video games. Or excuse me, I said digest, which we do. We like to digest the news, but digitize and preserve the history of video games. The nonprofit foundation relies on donations to build its archives. Thanks to your support, we've built a powerful tool for video game history research. It said last week, we can't wait for you to get your first look at what we've been up to. So we've got a video right here that we could play and watch, but I'm going to go ahead and skip that for now. But that looks pretty cool. Something that we can fall back on and look at if we need to. Again, hopefully it's being true to its word that it's preserving all forms of stuff, not taking out stuff that, you know, isn't progressive or anything like that. An actual, you know, history being kept alive with the good and the bad. So another video game chronicle that caught my eye is the PlayStation 5's 30th anniversary. Fuck. I'm just yawning already starting. Oh my gosh. I need to like dedicate a day where I tell myself I am literally not doing anything. Go to bed and stay in bed until I feel like I am recharged enough to get up. Because I don't know, because it's one of those things where it's like you feel energized throughout the entire day, and then we get to the end of the night here, and then it's like, ugh, you know, collapse. But we can do this. We've done it plenty of times. So PlayStation 3's anniversary PS5 themes are leaving, but Sony says they'll be back. A theme based on the previous PlayStation consoles will be removed at the end of January. So that is literally like one day away. So it says the limited time PlayStation 30th anniversary themes on the PS5 are being removed tomorrow, but promises players they'll return. Last month, Sony released a PS5 update which let players customize aspects of the console's operating system based on different console generations. This includes the PS1 boot up animation as the new startup sequence, variety of themes based on PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, or the 30th anniversary, which could be applied to the home screen and other areas. Sony informed players at the time that these themes will only be temporary, and it's now confirmed that they'll be leaving on Friday, January 31st, so tomorrow. However, it now says it plans to bring them back to positive user feedback. Why even get rid of it to begin with? This is so stupid. This is so dumb. Why have a theme and then be like, well, it's going to be gone now, so you can't use it anymore? Is it... I don't get it. I'm assuming once you download it, like, you have it forever. Thank you for the fantastic response to the classic PlayStation, PS2, PS3, PS4 limited time console themes, which will be leaving tomorrow. A statement on the official PlayStation account reads on X. Due to the positive response on these 4 themes, we're doing some work behind the scenes to bring these special designs back in the months ahead. Why not just leave it? Sony recently updated PlayStation's website with a timeline chronicling 30 years of the iconic gaming brand. And then last year, it also launched PlayStation's 30th anniversary collection, which includes the gray PS5 Digital and the PS5 Pro consoles. I don't know. I still wouldn't mind a PlayStation 5. More so since I have a lot of PlayStation 4 games. I wouldn't mind the backwards compatibility, but it's slowly becoming the fact of I'd like to own my games, and like PC games are like the way that you can get as pure of a form as possible to games being released nowadays, at least. But you have to either wait till it comes out to the to PC, and then modders will hopefully fix whatever issues they have or whatever, and to see if there's an actual physical copy. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming it's like, again, I'm assuming once you download it, you have it forever, or is it literally like one of the things for like the subscription base, you know, once it's gone, they like deactivate it or something, you know, stupid garbage like that. I'm going to assume it's like once you get it, you have it sort of thing, and then this will be the last time to like download them or something, but I don't know. To me, themes, like, it's like, come on, dude, like themes, just leave it. Also hailing from Video Game Chronicle, the Switch's Japan eShop will no longer accept foreign cards or PayPal to, quote, prevent fraudulent use. And players will have to find new ways to buy from the Japanese eShop. I know they've been getting hit with Visa and all that bullshit, so this is just adding more garbage to the already smelly fire. Nintendo has announced that it will soon stop accepting payments on its Japanese eShop from credit cards or PayPal accounts issued overseas. Wait, what? Credit cards or why? Aside from fraudulent use. So in a statement on the company's support page, Nintendo said the new policy will start on March 25th, and it's designed to fight fraudulent use. Okay, will explain to us like what people have been doing that seems fraudulent. In order to prevent fraudulent use, the Nintendo eShop and My Nintendo Store for Japan will stop accepting credit card issued overseas and PayPal accounts opened overseas from Tuesday, March 25th, 2025, the statement reads. For customers who have previously used overseas issued credit cards or PayPal accounts opened overseas, we ask that you please use other payment methods such as credit cards issued in Japan from now on. Oh my gosh. Oh man, I am draining. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause and appreciate your feelings. Well, you don't apologize because you're doing it. This is one of the things that always, after a while it gets tiresome. It's like, yeah, we're doing this things that's going to fuck over a lot of people, but we're sorry about it. It's like, well, if you're sorry, you wouldn't do it, but you're doing it anyway. This isn't like some accident or anything like that. You're like deliberately doing it. And of course, not even mentioning what it means about fraudulent use. While exactly what? There you go, Video Game Chronicles. That's what I was asking. While Nintendo doesn't specify what it means by fraudulent use, the multi-region nature of the Switch means players can easily create extra accounts on their consoles, assign them to different countries, then view the country's eShop. Some players based outside of Japan prefer to buy their games from the Japanese eShop, either because they aren't yet available in their own country or because the exchange rate sometimes makes it cheaper to buy from there. Nintendo's new policy means players who have been paying for these eShop purchases with a credit card or PayPal account set up in their own country will soon no longer be able to. As such, they'll need to look for an alternative payment method, such as buying prepaid Japanese Nintendo eShop cards online, which let them redeem a code to top up their eShop funds without having to disclose their location. Oh, that's pretty much it. Sounds retarded as shit. And the fact that they're not explaining about the fraudulent use is sketchy as hell. Dude, every video game company is being a bunch of dicks. Gosh. Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, all of them. Everything is just garbage now. People just want to play games. Oh my gosh. And the fact they can't even list what they mean by fraudulent use sounds to me like they're making up a bunch of garbage, or they're mad about literally what Video Game Chronicle pointed out here, to get early access and all that stuff. And if that's the case, then don't allow the Switch to assign different countries. If they really want to go that far. So, I don't know. So we're hopping over to Tech for Gamers. Now this sounds amazing. And that is a leaked email from Ubisoft. A leaked Ubisoft email reveals the company is on the verge of bankruptcy. That is absolutely amazing. So the past few years have been pretty bad for Ubisoft, as almost every single release from this publisher has been a failure. Its biggest past failures are Skull and Bones, Star Wars Outlaws, Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora, and Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. It even shut down some projects like X Defiant. Recently, the company has also laid off 185 developers and closed some studios. Following that, an internal email has been leaked. The email shows how Ubisoft is in a sensitive condition right now, and it is on the verge of bankruptcy. I think they meant to put like a now in there. Ubisoft is in a sensitive condition right, and it is on the verge of bankruptcy. We have also published a report backed by facts about why the company can go bankrupt this year. Okay, so that actually a recent. No, that was back from December. Why it matters. Back-to-back failures for a company in this economy can prove lethal. I feel like that's like the same for any company, really, but yes, especially in this economy, which good old Trump is working on fixing. And that is exactly what happened with Ubisoft. It may be too late for the company to turn the tables now. I think this is why they're going, down with the ship and they're not changing anything. Like, even with their stupid Assassin's Creed Shadows upgrades that they did, where people are saying, like, oh, yeah, it seems to not really be focused on Yasuke. That's not good enough. Yasuke should be removed from the game completely. The leaked email revealed contents of the upper echelon explaining the recent layoffs and studio closure to the employees who are unaffected. So according to leaked email, together we've navigated these uncertain times with resilience and an unwavering commitment to deliver exceptional games and drive innovations. Well, I mean, they should go beyond exceptional. They should be amazing games. But you haven't even done that. And drive innovation. You don't drive innovation. You bastardize every franchise that you touch. However, to secure our long-term stability and future success, we must continue to make some very difficult decisions. Womp womp. The email explains that the company has faced a lot of challenges this past year. It mainly highlights the layoffs and restructuring of the studios globally. It further reveals that such decisions are made to secure long-term stability and future success. So the company must continue to make some very difficult choices. While the higher-ups are explaining to the employees why the layoffs are necessary, it also made the intent to continue making such decisions very clear, meaning more layoffs in the future will happen. Well, how about you fire the higher-ups? Why don't the higher-ups step down? Because clearly you're not doing a good job. All you're doing is just laying people off. This is not surprising at all, given the company's condition. The email just further backs the bankruptcy report, as Ubisoft may not even survive by laying off more people. Ubisoft is nowhere near its prime, and that much is obvious right now. The company is relying largely on Assassin's Creed Shadows, and it will fail miserably. That is why it has been delayed twice, as the company doesn't want AC Shadows to have the same fate as its previous releases. Well, it's gonna be, because no one asked for Yasuke, and it's been documented that the reason why stupid Yasuke was inserted into the game is because of, back in the day, the George Floyd bullshit. All it was, and they wanted to cater to that group, and they chose Japan as the perfect opportunity to give a giant middle finger. Because we want to tell it from, it's Japan. Everything's focused on Japan, but it's through the eyes of someone else. It's like, well, then how can one really appreciate Japan if you're using some outsider's eyes? Who wasn't even like super involved in a lot of stuff to begin with, as very little was known about him. But we've read plenty of articles, and we've talked plenty of talks of the bullshit around Yasuke, so there's no reason going down that rabbit hole. But yeah, I mean, after reading this just proves, well, not really proves, but it confirms at least my theory that Ubisoft has gladly taken the mantle and will go down with the ship and does not care about anything. They'll continue thinking, well, we just got to lay off developers, not really realizing that the higher ups are probably the problem, that listening to Sweet Baby Inc., stupid consultation, studios, consultancy firms, and going with woke ideology, they're just not going to accept the fact that doesn't make any money, even though you've got plenty of options. Last of Us Part 2 held up for a little bit, but ultimately failed because no one cares about it anymore. Dragon Age Veilguard completely failed. Concord completely failed. Dustborn completely failed. How many games, how many times does this have to fucking fail? And this is the same script that they use over and over and over again, is that they think, well, everyone's done, it's what John Hammond did back in Jurassic Park, and what Jeff Goldblum's character says. You just took the next step, and you took what was established by the people in front of you, and you just took the next step, and before you knew it, you packaged it and you sold. That little speech he gives. I can't quote it verbatim, because I've watched Jurassic Park, but I haven't super watched it enough to memorize all the lines entirely in terms of the memorable quotes. But what he says, you're a kid that's found his dad's gun and are just going around. This is what happens when you do that. Good. Burn, Ubisoft, burn. Like I said, apparently they have determined to be the studio to go down with the ship. And the only thing I can see that when Ubisoft does fails and it does close and it does, shut down, hopefully that will be a big enough ripple to wake up all the other companies out there. I mean, I guess you could say that could be the only good thing, that could be the only good thing the recent Ubisoft has ever done for video games, but I don't know. Speaking of Dragon Age the Veilguard, apparently BioWare gutted and restructured after Dragon Age the Veilguard failure, and that the studio tries to assure longtime fans as Mass Effect becomes primary focus. This hails from That Park Place. Now it says Mass Effect is its primary focus, but I'm wondering if it's the focus is to bastardize it. Because apparently that's what they did with Dragon Age. Fallout from Dragon Age: The Veilguard's catastrophic failure continues, with BioWare now undergoing a massive restructuring that all but confirms the studio is being slashed to the bone. In a post on its official blog, studio general manager Gary McKay of BioWare announced that the company is shifting its focus entirely to the next Mass Effect game, effectively sidelining Dragon Age after the latest installment's disastrous reception. So while McKay attempts to paint this as an exciting new chapter for BioWare, the reality is clear. Veilguard's failure has forced EA's hand, and the studio is now being gutted. Key staff are being shuffled out of BioWare and into other EA divisions. And while the statement avoids explicitly mentioning layoffs, the language strongly suggests that many developers won't have a place to land. A studio in crisis. Today we are turning towards the future and preparing for the next chapter in BioWare's story, McKay wrote. As we announced in August of 2023, we are changing how we build games to meet the needs of our upcoming projects and hold ourselves to the highest quality standards. You clearly failed that with Dragon Age. Translation: Dragon Age: The Veilguard failed so badly that BioWare's entire structure is being dismantled. McKay confirmed that a, quote, core team at BioWare is now dedicated to developing the next Mass Effect game under the leadership of veterans from the original trilogy, specifically naming Mike Gamble, Preston Wadamanuk, Derek Watts, and Parrish Lay. While framed as a reassuring statement for fans, it also heavily implies that the team behind the Veilguard is out. This includes the game's director, Corne Boucher, who recently left BioWare for another opportunity. While Bush claimed that the departure was voluntary. Is it Bush or Boucher? Because this is like two different names. That Park Place. Yeah, they just wrote Bush. Boucher. Yeah, she bastardized the series and then she walked away because she doesn't care. While Boucher claimed the departure was voluntary, it's hard to believe that after leading a game to such a spectacular commercial failure, this high-profile exit didn't come at the insistence of higher-ups. EA doesn't tolerate high-profile flops, and the Veilguard was just that, failing to meet even half of the company's engagement expectations. And then EA's financial nightmare. BioWare's restructuring follows one of the worst financial weeks in EA's recent history. After slashing its revenue forecast due to Veilguard's underperformance and EA Sports FC 25th's weak holiday sales, EA stock took a nosedive, plummeting nearly 20% over the course of 2 days. Investors are now openly questioning the direction of the company, particularly BioWare's decision-making. Prior to the Veilguard's launch, the internal projection suggested it would sell over 10 million copies in its life cycle. Instead, it barely engaged 1.5 million players by the end of 2024. A game that many hoped would be a triumphant return for the Dragon Age series has instead become a cautionary tale for how far the franchise and BioWare has fallen. Given the stage of development, we don't require support from the full studio, McKay said. We have incredible talent here at BioWare, and so we have worked diligently over the past few months to match many of our colleagues with other teams at EA that had open roles that were a strong fit. Well, if those colleagues also ruined the game, they shouldn't be allowed to go elsewhere and ruin that area too. McKay's statement that many BioWare employees are being reassigned or matched to other EA teams, but at this stage, that likely means significant layoffs are incoming. When a studio is dismantled like this, there are always redundancies, and EA is unlikely to keep excess staff around indefinitely. The DAI experiment has failed. One of the biggest criticisms of Dragon Age: The Veilguard is its heavily emphasis on the identity politics at the expense of quality storytelling and gameplay. Under Boucher's leadership, the game was marketed as a progressive reimagining of the Dragon Age universe, featuring an over-the-top focus on diverse characters representation rather than the rich, immersive world building that made the series a success in the first place. Players pushed back hard, with many long-time fans feeling alienated by BioWare's shift in priorities. Instead of delivering a deep, complex RPG, Veilguard felt more like an ideological lecture wrapped in a game engine. One that failed to attract even a fraction of the audience EA had hoped for. What did you think would happen? Seriously, what did EA think was going to happen? These people are retarded. Did they not see Concord? Did they not see Busborn? Might as well have been, because aren't they on a bus all the time? Dustborn. But then again, I mean, it's not like, Dustborn came out and then, it's not like these are all probably being worked kind of around the same time. So it's not like, they looked over at that one and was like, we're going to do what they did, sort of thing. Now BioWare is being forced to clean house, and Mass Effect, a franchise that still has significant goodwill with some fans, is their last chance to salvage what's left of the studio's reputation. McKay's blog post makes it clear that EA is putting its faith in Mass Effect veterans to steer the ship, an implicit admission that the people's responsibility for the Veilguard can't be trusted to lead the studio forward. And then BioWare's future on the brink. And then he closed his statement with what read like a desperate attempt at reassurance. Today's news will see BioWare become a more agile, focused studio that produces unforgettable RPGs. We appreciate your support as we build a new future for BioWare. But for many fans, it's too little, too late. The damage has been done, and BioWare is no longer the revered RPG powerhouse it once was. Studio's future now hinges entirely on the next Mass Effect, and if it fails, BioWare may not survive at all. So BioWare's going down, Ubisoft is going down. At this point, the only question is whether EA will learn from its mistakes or continue to double down on the disastrous trend that led to the Veilguard's failure in the first place. I don't know. A lot of studios apparently wanted to double down because they think they're smart and they're clever, and that, a simple copy and paste, strong male character, just do the opposite. Gay, female, emotionally distraught woman will make the same sales. It doesn't. With the DEI ideology icing on the cake. Nope. So Video Game Chronicle also cover this too. So kind of probably says the same thing. Unspecified number of BioWare staff have transferred to other teams within its parent company, EA. And that now that Veilguard has been released, a core team at BioWare is developing the next Mass Effect game under the leadership of the veterans. And we've read who they are. In keeping with our fierce commitment in innovating during the development and delivery of Mass Effect, we have challenged others to think deeply about delivering the best experience to our fans. We're taking this opportunity between full development cycles to reimagine how we work at BioWare. Is the reimagining to go back with how you used to do and stop listening to tourists and journalists and all of these fake garbage people that don't care about the industry? They don't care about gaming. They don't care about giving a good story. They just want to leave their bastard stamp of approval. Because if you're doing that, then I think you're on the right step back to being a solid studio. But we need to see it, via action. So, given the stage of development, we don't require support from the full studio. We have incredible talent here at BioWare, and so we have worked diligently over the past few months to match many of our colleagues with our other... Okay, we already read that. According to an IGN report, a small number of Dragon Age team members are seeing their roles terminated too. A small number of Dragon Age teams? Like the one that just did? They should all be let go. It's unclear how many BioWare staffs are facing potential layoffs, but it's claimed those affected for being offered time to apply to other positions within the company if they want. I mean, if they're the ones that, if they had any sort of, bastardizing of the Dragon Age team, no, fire them. Let them go. Today's news will see BioWare become a more... Okay, we already read that one too. And then EA recently lowered its revenue forecast for its current business year, partly due to what it called the underperformance of EA Sports FC. Oh. Damn it. And Dragon Age the Veilguard. Sorry. I need to, smash my thumb with a hammer to wake myself up or something. The fantasy RPG engaged around 1.5 million players during its first 2 months of availability, which EA said was nearly half its expectations. Dump, bum, 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 bum. Oh, wait, GameSite denies founder has day-to-day involvement after he imitates Elon Musk's salute. Okay, I just saw this. I gotta hop over and see what's up. God is a Geek's entire editorial staff has quit. Okay, so here's an updated editorial staff quit. The God is a Geek editorial staff has posted a statement saying it has taken the decision to cease publication on the site. Lengthy statement, the editorial staff confirmed Calvin Robinson is still the owner of the website and that they had previously been running independently of his input in the hopes that we would not have to lose the hard work we have poured into it, the access we have worked hard for, and the other relationships we have developed. It's the first time God is a Geek has acknowledged Robinson's continued ownership of the business. And then here's the full statement. In light of the recent actions of God is a Geek, owner, the editorial team has taken the decision to cease publication on the website. We have each of us put years of work into the site, attempting to keep entertaining despite the actions of our estranged owner. His input on the site has been zero for several years, but we cannot continue to say nothing. To be absolutely clear, we do not support, share, or condone Calvin Robbins' political or actions. Okay, so they're pretty much just separating themselves from it. But I'm gonna. What did he do? Can I apologize on behalf of Calvin? All right, let's see what happened. So a game site founder has had his priest license revoked after he imitated a salute made by Elon Musk at the inaugural rally for President Donald Trump. Former game journalist and God is a Geek owner Calvin Robinson, who went on to become a priest, prominent conservative influencer, and spokesperson for the British right-wing political party UKIP, or UKIP, I guess, appeared at the National Pro-Life Summit on Wednesday, according to a post posted on social media. In the video, which has been watched over 10 million times, Robinson, in the words of his church, closes comments with a gesture that may have interpreted as a pro-Nazi salute, seemingly imitating a similar gesture made by Tesla owner Musk last week. In a statement posted on X, Robinson claimed the gesture was, quote, a joke. However, the Anglican Catholic Church, not associated with the Roman Catholic Church, criticized his action and announced it had revoked his priest's license. He's the founder and last known owner of God is a Geek, a notable game publication featured on the Metacritic, in which, okay, let's see it.
Break time. The whole of the old world is crumbling. Every country in Europe is embracing death. America, as far as I could see, is the only country fighting for life. And that's down to you guys. So God bless all of you for what you're doing. Please keep doing it. I hope that I can encourage you. And my heart goes out to you. God bless.
That wasn't bad. Oh my gosh. All of these people are a bunch of fags. That's
God bless.
Look at him. Dude, that is
And my heart goes out to you. God bless.
Dude, that is a straight up troll move. Like, oh my gosh.
I can encourage you. And my heart goes out to you. God bless. For what you're doing. Please keep doing it. I hope that I can encourage you. And my heart goes out to you. God bless.
I mean, that's more like a dab, if anything, because his other hand's like, you know, this. I probably shouldn't do it because then I'll, you know. Let me see on the playback. I want to see. Yeah, that's not even that bad. Oh, you didn't see it on my end. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Like, but you know, that smile, look at the smile. Dude, that is a smile of, he knew exactly what he was doing. And that is a straight up troll move. What a bunch of bitches. Everyone's a bunch of bitches. Although staff claim Robinson is no longer involved in the editorial running of the site, and his name is not listed on its staff page, Robinson's company, LDN CM, is acknowledged as the owner of God is a Geek. According to the company, the LDN.CM was dissolved in 2019, so it's not clear if Robinson still owns the site or not. Registration holder for godisageek.com domain is currently listed as private, though records show it was owned by one of Robinson's companies as recently as 2020. So if he still owns it, then fuck these guys. Like, they can all leave then. As for clarification, God is a Geek stopped short of stating Robinson is no longer involved in the publication, and then they said he's not involved. He most recently published articles on the site in 2019, in addition to appearing on a podcast after founding the game. He ran as a candidate for both the Conservative Party in 2016 and 2018, and the Brexit Party in 2019. Oh my gosh! But the hypocrisy of all of this is that there are plenty of times where the other side, the Democrats and the lefty loonies out there have done the exact same thing, and you don't hear people like revoking licenses and going out of this shit. So like, I mean, bunch of fucking idiots too. That, to me, that wasn't even that bad. Oh my gosh. Well, we've pretty much come up to like the main articles that I've kind of wanted to read about, and that is your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, apparently race and gender swapping Dr. Connor. So they've already just were racist against my fellow people, gingers, and replaced the Osborns with black people. And now apparently they're replacing Dr. Kurt Connors, aka the Lizard, into now, what's her name? Christina Connors or Carla Connors. Oh, there you go. Oh my gosh. So a typical example of modern day comic book adaptation writing applied to an adamantly atypical target, the premiere of Marvel Studios' new Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man animated Disney Plus series has revealed that the latest character to receive the race and gender swap treatment from the House of Mouse is none other than the wall crawler's longtime friend / villain, Dr. Kurt Connors, otherwise known as the Lizard. Created by none other than original Spider-Man creators Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, the Lizard was one of the first official supervillains to be added in the Heroes Row gallery, making his debut all the way back in the 1963's Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1, Number 6. A brilliant biologist, Connors held a special interest in the same reptiles that would eventually become his namesake, dedicating his time and efforts to studying their regenerative abilities to find a way to regrow human limbs, in particular his own right arm, which he lost during his time as a U.S. Army surgeon in Vietnam, or as bounding into comics here, apparently really wanted to emphasize the U.S. Army surgeon serving in Vietnam as a U.S. Army surgeon. Why does it U.S. Army surgeon? I'm just trying to think real quick. Yeah, I don't think you needed to state this twice. So I don't know if this was like a spelling error or what, but I'm pretty sure you could have just said the U.S. Army surgeon. Or a U.S. Army surgeon. So we got old Spider-Man apparently discovering that Dr. Kurt Connors is the Lizard, according to Dr. Connors' wife right here. Look at that sharp guy with that sharp chin. I feel life returning in my right shoulder. Such a strange sensation. And then, I've done it. I've grown a new arm. This is the greatest medical feat of all time. Eventually, Dr. Connors' years of research finally pays off in the form of a drinkable serum, as concocted from lizard DNA that would theoretically simulate limb growth in humans. However, rather than subjecting the serum to the proper testing procedure, the eager scientist instead decided to use himself as the first guinea pig, injecting the experimental cure directly into his veins. And though the serum initially proves to be a rousing success, with Dr. Connors near instantaneously regrowing his arm, it also comes with the unfortunate side effect of turning him into the mindless half-man, half-lizard hybrid that he's primarily known as today. Initially depicted, as we saw, as a white male, Dr. Connors' appearance has held consistent across his 60-year history with even his multiversal versions, including those appearing in live action, animated, video game projects, all sharing the same general description. I think I've read this. I started reading the Spider-Man comics. However, despite its art style taking inspiration from Lee and Ditko's original comics, the same could not be said of the version of the villain seen in Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Maybe in the style, but the animation looks like shit. Same with the X-Men 97 stuff too. And people gave me crap for that when I made a video about it, and now look at it now. Look at you now. The series, which originally began life as a direct entry in the MCU, before being spun off into its own pseudo-standalone endeavor, introducing viewers to its take on Dr. Connors in its second episode, The Parker Luck. Therein, after performing a series of aptitude tests to determine which division of Oscorp he will be serving his upcoming internship in, Peter Parker is introduced to his new mentor, Company Energy Research Division member Dr. Carla Connors, a dark-skinned woman of an unspecified ethnic background. Fortunately for those wondering, as the end of the series' second episode, this version of Dr. Connors has yet to transform into her more well-known form. What do you mean her known well-known form? She is not Dr. Connors. Oh my gosh. And it's currently unknown if there are any plans to do. They probably just changed her into a female so that, like, you know, like the the furries out there get their jollies off or something. Notably, not only is Dr. Connors the fourth member of the Spider-Man cast to receive the race swap treatment in their jumps for the comics to Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, but she's also the second of the hero's villains, or third if one wants to get technical, to get overall. As seen in the series, you got both Harry Osborn and then his father, the Green Goblin himself, Norman Osborn, have also been race swapped, their shared ethnicity being changed from white to black. More importantly, gingers being replaced, because heaven forbid gingers get proper representation. Us, my people getting oppressed over here. Curiously, the reveal of the series race-swapped Dr. Connors comes just a day after the voice actor behind Peter Parker himself, Hudson Thomas, claims that the series was anything but annoying and woke. Oh, you know damn well PR probably said something about that. And we read about this on Tuesday. And we have his quote here. But he doesn't explain how it... Yeah, and... I mean, my biggest fear was that it was going to be annoying and woke, and it wasn't. And I was like, yes, this is great. It's so well written. Like, it feels real. Like, this statement did absolutely nothing to convince people to go see this piece of garbage. The only people who are going to go see it are, like, some liberal retards. I believe he simply misspoke. Oh, yeah, right here. It should be noted that when later pressed about Thomas's comments during an Ask Me Anything given to the Marvel Studios Reddit community, series showrunner Jeff Trammell would assert, I love Hudson and I didn't focus too much on what he said. Yeah, I'm sure you didn't. Ted Cruz, Zodiac Killer over on Rumble. Didn't Jesus say the furries shall inherit the earth? Apparently so. I mean, woke Jesus might have said that. Not the Jesus I know. I believe he simply misspoke, and I know that's been weighing on him, he added. I think we made a fantastic show that's going to appeal to a wide audience. No, you didn't. Bullshit. You did not make a show that's going to appeal to a wide audience. You made a show for people who think like you. Oh my gosh. Not even fucking clever about it, too. Make him black. Make her black. Shouldn't they have made Osborn like a woman then as well? So they always go the opposite sex. Dr. Connors, white male. Oh, black woman. White male. Norman Osborn. They went black male. Shouldn't this have been a... You know what? They probably wanted to actually do a female Norman Osborn. Irma Osborn or... whatever, or what have you, except that it would have been, well, then we would have been too obvious about anything, so I guess we'll keep it a male. They're doing like the opposite. Well, we know everyone isn't really a big fan of, Miles Morales, so we'll make everyone around, like, we'll give them white Peter, but we'll make everyone around him black. Oh my gosh. That was probably like in the meetings. And hopefully captures what I love about the Spider-Man. That he's a guy who cares deeply about the people around him and always tries to do the right thing. I think what people really care about is you don't fucking change anything. I think that's what people really care about. At current, new episodes of the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man are being released in batches of 3 episodes, with the final batch, like the first, only consisting of 2, every Wednesday exclusively on Disney+. There you go. Look how detailed like all these drawings are, and then you just look up here. Just so lifeless and empty. This is kind of like, because I have the Ultimate Spider-Man game, and it kind of gives me that feeling, but like it fits it, you know? I love this look. He's like, I've done it. My arm's grown back. That Park Place also wrote about this too. So Disney Plus just can't help themselves. The brand new animated series Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man debuted yesterday, and fans were quickly hit with the wave of race and gender swaps that many see as yet another example of Marvel's ongoing obsession with identity politics. Perhaps the most shocking change was Dr. Kurt Connors, better known as the villainous Lizard, who has traditionally been depicted as a white male scientist with a tragic backstory tied to the loss of his arm. In this last iteration, however, Connors has been transformed into a one-armed black woman named Dr. Carla Connors. That's right. Marvel has decided that in 2024, now 2025, the best way to update a classic character is to completely erase the original version. Was she a U.S. Army? Was she a strong woman in the U.S. Army too? That was also a surgeon. Wonder if anyone. Let me know in the comments, like anyone who was able to stomach watching this. Did they actually explain how she lost her arm? But it doesn't stop there. Both Norman Osborn and his son Harry, two of the most pivotal characters in the Spider-Man's mythos, has also been race swapped to black. This follows a pattern seen in recent Marvel projects where classic characters are reimagined solely to fit modern diversity quotas rather than being developed organically. And then as we read, the irony in all of this is that Hudson Thomas, voiced Peter Parker, made the quote that he said, where he insisted that the show wasn't annoying and woke. Gosh, look at this. From the studio that brought you X-Men 97. It's like a downgraded. X-Men 97 was a downgrade. This is an even bigger downgrade. All right, but we've read his quote before. There it is. Unfortunately, reality tells us a different story. Not only does Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man engage in obvious race swaps, but it also injects heavily handed social justice themes into its narrative. On top of character rewrites, the show is packed with the usual modern-day virtue signaling. Oh, here we go. One episode features Lonnie Lincoln, whose comic book fans will recognize as the future villain Tombstone, going through a racism storyline that feels more like a lecture than an organic plot point. Oh my gosh. Meanwhile, Spider-Man himself lets a female thief off the hook, excusing her actions because she's just down on her luck. Oh my gosh, this sounds terrible. And of course, no modern Disney Marvel project would be complete without the classic rich people bad messaging, another overused trope that is worn thin with audiences. And this is just the latest example of Marvel doubling down on identity politics, a strategy that has driven away longtime fans and tanked box office and streaming numbers. Yep, ever since Avengers Endgame, Marvel's output has been plagued by diversity changes that prioritize virtue signaling over good storytelling. Yeah, I saw this too. Anthony Mackie started controversy by saying that Steve Rogers' version of the hero didn't truly represent America. Comments like these paired with Disney's continued agenda-driven content only add to growing backlash. Marvel used to be about great characters and compelling stories. Now it's about checking off boxes, race-swapping classic heroes and villains, and pretending that audience won't notice. But they do, and they're turning out in record numbers. And the funniest thing about this is the SJW checkbox. It's the most racist, sexist, bigoted thing that you could ever do. This is still the answer that they cannot give, is how do you, being a racist, being the true racist, bigot, xenophobe, whatever you want to throw out there, how does you being that fight against what you say you fight against? Because I'm not seeing it. It just makes you like a well, Venom Greg actually has some good words to say. No truer words have been spoken from Venom. Good old Venom Greg. But that's all I have for today's show. Let's take a gander at what games were released this day in gaming. Let's see here. Friendly neighborhood spider pig. All right, we usually go to GameFAQs and Moby Games, since Moby Games is more of a worldwide sort of thing. All right, so January 30th, this day in gaming. These were game releases from starting from 35 years ago. Shove It, the warehouse game. Okay. I just thought that name was funny. I don't really know it. Lifeline. I felt like I've heard of that one before. Rogue Galaxy. You got a Fate Stay Night again. I haven't played it, but I've heard of the name. Ooh, here you go. Double Dragon 4. Dissidia's Final Fantasy. I don't know about that one. All right, not seeing a whole lot that jump out to me in terms of like games that I played. Here you go to all you pervs out there. Hentai Tales, the Taboo. Oh gosh, Taboo Sisters. We can only imagine what that means. Well, that's kind of disappointing. Let's see if Moby Games have any games that we at least are aware of. Apparently, the Phantasy Star 2 Text Adventure for Sega Genesis came out. Sim Coaster for Windows. There you go. What is Lifeline, I wonder? I swear I've heard of that game. The name sounds familiar. Lego Indiana Jones Adventure. I guess the browser version was released worldwide back in 2008. Huh. Well, how's about that? Ooh. Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle for the Android in Japan was released. There you go. Get some Dragon Ball Z in there. Who doesn't love some Dragon Ball Z? All right. Crap. Doesn't look good because we're now in 2016. So this is where games kind of start falling off. You got your Double Dragon 4. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah. Nothing really standing out. Well, that's a bummer. Apparently, Sniper Elite Resistance is going to be coming out here for your Windows, Xbox, and Windows app. I played Sniper Elite 1 and 2. I tried getting into 3, but I never completed it. Well, that is all that I have for you guys tonight. So, hope you guys got your pop culture news, pop culture fill. If you enjoyed the stream and me yawning all the time, apparently, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. We were on YouTube, Rumble, and X, so you can follow me over there. Follow me. As my voice just gets destroyed. And then you can find my other social media listed in the description or in the bio tree on my X. But I appreciate you guys just hanging out with me for tonight. Let's do some rating. Over on Rumble, Alex Zedra is live, so we will raid her. Let me get that going. It's weird because, like, to raid in Rumble, you have to, like, type in, like, the stuff. Okay, do that. What's up? Yeah, good night, bruh. Good night, Ted Cruz, Zodiac Killer. Thanks for hanging out. And then for YouTube, who do we have? X-Ray Girls. We'll do Vara again, because why not? All right, I will catch you guys on the flip side. But you guys have a good rest of your night. Take care, and God bless. And I will see you then. Until then, peace.